I'm Catherine Davis. I'm the composer and director, and this is my collaborator,
Thompson, Ulerich, and I'm the choreographer.
And we have some directions for you guys to help out.
In each one of the scenes, there is 1 to 3 things happening, so you get to make a choice and choose your own adventure. And in each time you go to a scene, you're going to see completely different choreography, different music. You'll be hearing beautiful compositions by Catherine, and you'll see different dancers. So as you progress through the performance, keep wandering. You can follow a dancer. You might be attracted to a particular piece of music or musician. Just you can decide and choose your own adventure.
This particular program is called the Illusory Impressions Project, a study and release. Our last project was, if anybody attended, was the Illusory Impressions project, an invitation to shift. And this differs in the way that really this whole program is really based around what we feel is a constant life lesson for everyone, probably, or at least for us, in learning how to release and let go of control. And going, when we get to roadblocks, going where we need to go to realize that that roadblock is never going to go anywhere. So a lot of the choreography and the music, and Michelle and I have been discussing this program for the last year on the telephone quite a bit, and talking about things going on in our lives and concepts around control, from the most mundane life activity to life loss and just letting go. So a lot of the things you'll see and hopefully hear are going to be a lot of those concepts. And we hope you guys enjoy the show. We will have a little Q&A after if you'd like to stay.
After we do the big arabesque here, maybe think like almost like it's a release. So you've done this really big movement, and then you come back, and then almost like it's like towards your sister, and then around. Yeah. Good. And then into this. Yes. But that was good. Good. We've already made like a lot of progress. So we'll walk up this staircase, and if you can go, both of you will go to the middle platform. I don't know if you spend any time there, but there's like
it's a surface on the side of the building, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
There's one flat spot. So you'll walk up, and then once you get to that platform, then I'll have you turn and face Nicole. And it's pretty small. Like this is about what it is. And we're going to do some mirrored stuff together, and then we're going to sort of like distort it and kind of mess with it. So starting, you'll use your right hand, you'll use your left hand, but you're going to just take your right hand and you're going to move it onto a diagonal, and it'll kind of be reaching maybe past the railing, and then you're going to take your opposite hand and you're going to bring that in, and then you're going to just sort of peel back, and as much twist as you can get, and then you'll just kind of come to neutral from there. Then from there you'll almost like you're taking the backs of your hands towards each other, and they could touch if it feels good, or just almost like you have a mirror in between you, and then just kind of uncurl your fingers, and then do like a little like away from each other. Good. The other day she did this style where she did like that, she did one bun, and then she did like another bun, and it still had like some movement, but it wasn't like, I just pulled them like more of what like Felicia does, which is just if you lay on her lap. So here, like you lay on her lap this way. Oh, that's nice. Good. Now from here, and we need to open the window. She opens the windows, but we're at that time in the music. If from here, I have this thing that's gonna happen. It's coming soon. Our first one, as Catherine said earlier, was an invitation to shift, and there was a lot of themes that went through that, and with that particular space in that mansion. And then when we decided to take on the next project, we always like to touch base and brainstorm together about what's in our current life, what's in the makeup of the world and the people that we know. And this became a brainstorm from that. And then obviously the space, I think, offers up certain things as well that can add, and we were very interested in this study of release.
Love the show. Considering how close and intimate the space was, how did sound play into how the performance was like timed?
Because I knew that the sound would bleed from scene to scene, the way I composed the pieces was to really keep them in the same chord progression. So they weren't the same song, but similar themes would run throughout. So you would hear some of the same melodies going on in a different way, but their tempos and rhythms and everything were just slightly different. So I had to keep them in the same key so that it wouldn't be terrible for everybody to experience in one situation. Yeah.
You guys are gonna walk, and you're gonna walk, and you're gonna come. There's gonna be a vocalist right here, so you're gonna go this way.
The cellist is right here, right?
The cellist is on the other side. Okay.
So you go to Rachel. You switch places. This stays.
Okay.
You're over there. You're dancing with Elena. You're dancing with Elena.
Okay.
You come back. You finish with Elena here.
Yep. Yeah.
Boom.
Okay.
You pick up your light. I'll let
Okay.
you do that part. You pick up your light, and now you're going to the scene. Let's have you go this way.
I'm a freelance artist in New York, and I know what that kind of work is like, and I know that as a freelancer, sometimes you do amazing stuff, and sometimes you're just sort of like doing these things, and you kind of wish you could do something that you could emotionally chew on. And so I wanted to reach out to the freelancing community here and find dancers who wanted something of this emotional depth. And some of them I found through, word of mouth, someone I really trusted, and said, I'm looking for a dancer like this, who do you recommend? And some of them I literally met on Monday. And, I watched a video of them and I got a recommendation, and I met them on Monday and we began to work on this. So we've already created these bonds that are pretty magnificent. Other dancers I've known for years and I've choreographed on, and it was one of those things where I was like, I really want to work with you. This is how much I can give you. I think because artists want to do things that they can really process and work on. Alrighty, are you guys ready to rock?
Ready to rock.
Okay.
We're about to start our dress rehearsal, and it's a little crazy because we've got a lot of elements coming together. We're finalizing our sound, our lighting, our dancers are ready, so awesome, and our musicians are just warming up and getting themselves together. Yeah, and then we hope to do the whole dress rehearsal as if it was a real show. For me, it feels like the study that you do when you've hit a roadblock in your life, when you've hit pain, when you've hit loss, when you've realized, man, I'm just in this cycle over and over again, and this is not working. And it's when you hit this feeling of like, I'm controlling everything, but I'm not actually happy about what I'm controlling. So that moment when you say, wow, I really need to make a change, or whatever that is for you. Like, I know for me, like starting a meditation practice, that was a study. Like, that's not easy to do. You know, when you decide to open up a book that's going to feed your soul, that's the type of study that I'm interested in, and I think that can heal you, it can soothe you. It's when you decide, I'm gonna do a writing meditation, a feeling of more understanding, and it's something that maybe is something you do by yourself, like in your own practice, in your own study, or maybe maybe you're not that type of person. Maybe you need to go take ballet class every day and be in a community, or maybe you need to go to church, or maybe there's so many ways that we can think about this, a study and release. What does that mean for you? And maybe you don't. You're like, Michelle, what are you talking about? Like, I'm so happy and everything's amazing, and everything's great. And that's maybe but you got to know someone in your life, or have had an experience where you hit this place of just contraction, of control, pain, a roadblock, where you said, I need to make a change. And maybe you start, okay, I'm going to try to do this every day, and then you fall off the wagon, and I started to do this every day, and then you fall. But that's the study. That's the part of the practice for me, is like, we're not trying to be perfect. Like, we're not trying to be perfect. And what I was talking with the family is, with these relationships, we're not trying to fix someone. We're not trying to say, like, your feelings are wrong, or the way that you are controlling things is wrong. It's just like, how can I hold space for you so that you can have your feelings, and maybe having them and sharing them and being in them can then take you and make you realize something new, something else. So that's a little bit about that.